The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of America First Stories. And I'm very excited about this week's guests and sponsors because they're ones that I don't really know very well. And this is going to be like the first time we've ever actually spoken. And so I always love getting to know our sponsors. And the whole purpose of this show is for you guys to get to know our sponsors. And that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to be interviewing Kurt and Cristin Ludlow from Pet Club 247. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Welcome to the show, Kurt and Cristin. How are you guys doing?
We're great, John. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. Where are you guys located, by the way?
Well, we live in Henderson, right outside of Las Vegas, but our headquarters are in Simi Valley, California, Southern California.
Wow. Okay. Yes, I'm in North Dakota, obviously, and I'm super jealous. We got snow last night.
Yeah, we're walking around in tank tops and t-shirts right now. That's really
nuts. Nuts. So how come the headquarters is in California, but you guys are in Henderson? Like what's going on there?
So our partners here with the company, they're all based right in that general region right there, the Simi Valley area. We're based here in Las Vegas or Henderson. And as a result of that, we do everything from running and helping with, operations with the company just right out of our home. It's very nice.
Awesome.
We're not big fans of living in California to begin with. No offense to that, but
no, plenty of offense. It sucks out there right now anyway. That's okay. So can you give us a quick rundown, and we'll get more specific about your business later, but I do want to just a broad overview of what Pet Club 247 is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it really helps to talk about first how we got started and introduced to all of this, because it's really powerful what's been happening and very moving as well. So you want to
let's do that.
Give you some background on that. So our partners that I talked about that are out in California, just over 10 years ago, they had reached out to Cristin and I, and they were sharing the backstory of how they got their hands on this particular mushroom extract. And he had shared that his business partner there in California, Simon, his mother was dealing with an issue that affected her lung. She was attending Sloan Kettering out in New York. It metastasized. They did everything medically they could. Nothing would worked out. And it just got down where she just had a couple of months left to live.
Wow.
So he was reaching out to friends and family, of course, like anyone would do, explaining her circumstances. His cousin in Japan, who was involved in the medical arena, reached back and said, listen, we have a product I want to get in your hands. It's just a mushroom. We have a proprietary way we extract it. He goes, and what's it really known to do is it just modulates the immune system. It gets it functioning optimally again. He goes, let's, have her take it. Let's just see if it might help her in any way. And so she gets it. She starts taking it. She notices right around a month into it that she's feeling considerably better. Month 2, more improvement. Month 3, she's feeling like the issue she was dealing with are not there. And 4.5 months after Sloan Kettering sent her home, she goes back, and they do indeed find that issue to no longer be there. She was completely
no
NAD.
evidence of it.
Yeah, no evidence of disease. So as you can imagine, they were flabbergasted. They didn't expect to see her. They asked what she was doing. She explained, and And they asked if they could get any information regarding it, of which, her nephew was able to get to them. And that's where the first clinical study started on this particular mushroom extract here in the United States. And now today, there are hundreds of studies from MD Anderson, Harvard, Loma Linda, published in the Library of Medicine many times. And what they also concluded was that it does not cure, mitigate, or prevent, but it gets your immune system running optimally again. If we can get that working optimally again, it's capable of resolving any issue, from the smallest of concerns to the most catastrophic. Now, what's incredible about this is that it doesn't interact with medications. You can't overdose. You can't get addicted. You can't take too much. It's just like eating a mushroom on a pizza. It's a whole food. And so what ended up happening for several years, Simon would tell anyone that would listen to him about his mother's story, and people would start ordering it from his cousin in Japan. It would take, 3 weeks or so to get it here. And he started getting the most amazing testimonials back, stuff to his mother's. People started taking it that weren't ill, that just wanted, something that to keep from getting ill, to keep their immune system running optimally. And after several years, of people taking 3 weeks to get it, he finally reached out to his cousin and said, "Hey, look, how can we gain control of this here in the U.S.?" And at that time, they gave him control of the U.S. and all of North and South America. Today, this is the only way people can get it in their hands. No other way to get it. And it's been absolutely incredible. But for years, they would sell it just online to people and hear the most amazing things.
Yeah.
But years ago, when we got our call, is when he said, "Look, we found that this product is doing amazing things for animals, and it's just incredible. And we want to send some to you, give it to your animals, and just see, what you might notice." And we receive it. And John, 3 days after I get it, somebody that very dear to me and close, a friend of mine, posts on social media, has to put his best friend down. And I called him, and he goes, "It's time for Zenta." He goes, "She's 14 and a half. She's had an autoimmune issue for the last 4 years." He said it's gotten so bad in the last year, if she steps on cement, pavement, or even the tile in his home, her paw pad just peel off. But he said in the last month, she's laying in the corner of her kitchen, her hair's coming out in clumps, eyes are completely whited over. He said she's got 7 big lumps down her side. He said the vet didn't diagnose them as cancerous, but believes they probably are due to her age. And he said, but I said, "Is she eating still?" And he goes, "She is. And that's, why we're just not ready." And I said, "Well, are you open to maybe trying something that I've learned about?" And he said, "Yeah, we'll do anything." So we get it to him, and he calls 4 days later, and I answer, and he says, "What did you give my dog?" And he said it in a tone he'd never used with me before. And of course, I was like, "Oh no, is everything okay?" And he said, "Kurt," he goes, "Zenta just jumped on the couch next to me." And I said, "That's amazing." And he goes, "You don't understand. She hasn't done this in a year and a half." He goes, "You think it could be this mushroom?" And I said, "Well, to be frank, I can't answer that honestly, but I do trust the people that brought this to me and have shared it with me. I got to assume so." And he said, "It has to be. We're doing nothing different." And every day that went by, they were having to, John, carry her outside to use the restroom. It got so bad, and she started going on her own. And within around 30 days, the crystallization in her eyes cleared up. He said before that, she was running into things. Hair was quit coming out in clumps. All the paw pads for that autoimmune issue had cleared up.
Healing.
And it took 4 to 6 months for the lumps to go away, but they were all gone. Now she lived to be almost 20.
Yeah, another 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
No way. They went from almost putting down a dog to 4.5 years later. The dog still.
And great quality, because we all want extra time, but not at the expense of their quality of life, right?
Yeah.
And she was going on 5-mile hikes, which she hadn't been doing previously. She was swimming in the lake with the ducks. She was playing with the puppies. She got to meet their grandkids who weren't even born at the time when they were going to have to say goodbye to her. And so now they have all these videos and pictures of them crawling on her, this dog that you couldn't even touch because she would went in pain. And now all these little babies are crawling on her and playing with her. So it's just amazing. And, especially with what's been happening in the pet industry, our pets are living half as long as they used to. I don't know, not that long ago, they were 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. And now the average is 9. So it's so incredible to get that extra time with them that they're enjoying it just as much as you.
So your friend calls you, you've been using this thing. How did you get into like selling the business and becoming part of like the only people in North and South America who have access to this mushroom?
Yeah, it was crazy because when he had told me what happened to Zenta, I called my brother. Isn't generally open to anything, lives in a very small town, love him to death, but he just very closed-minded with everything. And I told him about it. He said, send it, I'll give it to my dog. He had a little dog named Batman. And Batman was a dachshund, and he couldn't, he was 9. He couldn't get up and down the stairs anymore. They'd carry him up when they went to bed. He couldn't jump in his favorite chair. And he called 10 days later and he said, he goes, I cannot even believe. He said, Batman's running up and down the stairs. He's jumping in his favorite chair. And he said, this is incredible. She's 4 and 5 years younger. And at that point is when we said, okay, look, we need to take involvement with these guys. And
it became a mission for us, because at first you think, what a fluke, like, what are the odds? The very first dog, that we give this to has such an incredible turnaround. But then dog after dog, cat after cat, horse after horse, we were just seeing it over and over and over again. And we realized that this is a way that we can change the way that pets and people are being treated. Like, this is something that can really turn things around from a higher level, from a higher perspective. And it became a mission for us.
And, there was a little more involved with that, John. We had to make sure that they were in alignment with who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We already knew that, my friend Gino, which is part of the company, I've known him 10 years. He's a shake your hand type of guy. If you shake your hands with him with anything, it's solid, it's in stone. Yeah. But, we wanted to make sure that as this rolled out, as we started learning some things, we learned that 65% of animals, our pets today, are getting cancer, 1 in 3 allergies, 6 million new cases of diabetes in animals every year. And again, like Cristin said, they live half as long as they used to.
1 out of 5 of them are getting autoimmune diseases too. That's crazy. Ridiculously high for pets, especially.
And so through all the research we did, we found out that the majority of it stems from the food, treats, and toys they're ingesting, they're eating. Now, we make sure that everything is made right here in the U.S. We're not bringing in ingredients from other countries. There's no bad ingredients in any of the products. And, when people spend money with us, they know that money is not going into the hands of the conglomerates that, all don't want it into the hands of.
But it's not just for animals, though?
And that's a great question.
So it started, initially they were already offering it for people for several years. And for example, Simon's mom lived another 23 years. She ended up passing just because she was ready to go of old age. She didn't actually get sick or anything. So this was something that was already going on. So when they discovered it was not only safe for animals, but it was beneficial for them, that's when Pet Club 24/7 started. And 9 times out of 10, we're just seeing the most amazing things happening relatively quickly. And that's because the immune system is so capable. It can repair, rebuild, restore, rebalance, regulate everything that's happening inside of the body. It's not guessing like we are. We're constantly chasing symptoms and trying to treat conditions and do all of this, and guessing what's causing it. Well, the immune system knows. So when you're supporting that and feeding it the right nutritional support, it just goes straight to the source of whatever's creating all those symptoms in the first place, and it addresses it there. And there's no guesswork involved. It's very intelligent. And so we're seeing this happen, and people are looking at us going, our animals don't know what a placebo is. They have no clue there's a mushroom in this cookie or this gravy that we're giving them. This has to work. And is this available for humans? And we kind of joke about it because all of our products are human grade whole foods made in human grade commercial kitchens. So I always joke that all of our products have been tested on humans because I've tried them all. That's a rule that I live by. I'm certified in pet nutrition, and if it's not something I'm willing to put in my own mouth or eat, I don't give it to my pets. Like, that's how much we should trust the brands that we're giving them. And so they were saying, do we just eat these cookies? Like, what do we do? And we said, it's funny that you ask, this has been available for people for a long time. So they actually added the human capsules and tablets to the Pet Club 24/7 website.
Oh, that's awesome.
People could start taking them too. And, fun things like coffee and cookies and treats for people, just like we treat our pets well. And they were experiencing the same types of things that their pets were experiencing once they got that nutritional support that their bodies needed. So it's kind of funny how it's come around full circle. We tested it on humans first and found out it was safe for animals, and then brought it back around to the people again.
That's hilarious. And so this mushroom, is it only unique to Japan? Like how are you guys the only distributors of this in North and South America? Like how'd that happen?
Yeah, through this process, I've not only become certified in pet nutrition, but also mycology, as I learned about the benefits of mushrooms and how important they are for animals, for people. They really are our greatest allies, and they nourish our bodies intelligently in ways that no other food possibly can. They have components that specifically interact with our bodies, and we read it like a code, and our pets as well. And so when you're taking any type of mushroom supplements, there are three things that are really important. And the first is purity. A lot of mushrooms that are out there are not processed properly, and they can get contaminated. They come from impure substrates, and that can really affect the outcome, and even sometimes give people adverse reactions to it. And so the purity is the first thing, and then potency is the second thing. There are hundreds of strains for each different type of mushroom. And not all the strains are equal. And so the strains that we have are not only very pure, we have 3 certificates of analysis on every single batch, because we want to be good stewards with what we have and want to make sure we're getting the purest form of it out to people.
Yeah.
We have strains that are proprietary to us, so you can't get these strains anywhere else, that are very potent. And then also we've perfected the extraction process. We have very advanced natural extraction processes that really harness all those bioactive compounds, and it truly produces a pharmaceutical grade extract. And that's why we're having these types of testimonials and results that we're having, because we really focused on purity, potency in the process of it, and produced something that's as closest to its natural pure form as you can possibly get. And again, our bodies know how to metabolize it. Our pets' bodies know how to metabolize it. And a lot of people don't know, but mushrooms and humans share 40 to 50% of the same DNA.
What?
It's insane. People will ask us, well, we don't get it. Are these fruits or vegetables? Because when you go to the grocery store, it's in the produce section. And we have to tell them, no, it's its own kingdom. Fungi is its own kingdom. And it's actually closer to humans and animals DNA-wise than it is to any plants or fruits or vegetables. And so that's why it interacts with our bodies differently. They have their own immune system. They create their own enzymes for digestion. They breathe oxygen just like we do. It's really incredible.
It is.
And they cover 80% of the earth. So 80% of every single step that you take, you're stepping on this mycelial network, which is like a baby mushroom network, which tells you that it's intended for all creation everywhere in the world. It's not just meant for certain areas where there are environmental threats that it helps, produce the life in that area needs to survive. No, this is an essential food that's needed for all living species, including plants. Plants use mushrooms as well to communicate and pass resources through this mycelial network. I can get so nerdy about this.
I like nerdy. That's okay.
It's so incredible when you learn, you realize how intelligently designed everything is and how intricate it all is. It's really amazing. So when you get this food, nature's greatest ally, into your pet's bodies or into your body knows exactly what to do with it. It reads the code. It knows exactly how to use it. And instead of chasing all these symptoms, now we're supporting systems, which that is always the problem. There's a breakdown in the systems of the body. There's a breakdown in the mitochondria on a cellular level. So when you're able to reactivate that mitochondrial biogenesis and start supporting these systems to function properly, everything gets rebalanced and restored and regulated. It's like a miracle. But at the end of the day, no, it's just you're now eating the right food that your body knows and needs.
So do you guys grow the mushroom yourself?
Yes. So we are responsible for the growing, the harvesting, all done on organic, clean, contaminant-free substrates. We actually grow ours in nature, so they have access to sunlight. There are trees around them. They're not grown in some little lab with artificial sunlight. because nature carries codes. The sun carries codes that the mushrooms absorb and then pass it along to us, into animals.
Wow.
And so you're not only getting this mushroom support, but you're also getting a lot of the natural support from, all of the different ways that our bodies function. It's so funny because like all the basic needs you have, water, air, and sunlight, right? And mushrooms are able to contribute to that in our own bodies and our pets' bodies.
That's crazy. What's the process like? So you harvest the mushrooms. Do they have seeds? Like, do you take out the seed and then go plant it? Like, how do you?
It's very so you think of it like a plant, but it's not. It's very, very different. So, for example, the main mushroom that we have, the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, like what Simon's mom took and Zenta, every pet, every person, every day should be getting this mushroom into their systems and eating it.
Every day.
Every single day. I call it my mushroom breakfast, and I won't go a day without it. It's the most important, valuable thing that you can put into your body. But what's neat about it is there's this mesh. It's called the mycelium. So it's baby mushrooms. When you normally see a mushroom at the store, it's when it's fully fruited. So when it comes out of the ground, that's the fully fruited body. And by then, there's still good compounds in it, but a lot of the components that, like the PSP, the PSK, the spermidine, all these different types of components that really interact with our body on a cellular level and help to activate all of those cellular renewal processes, those are already dispersed by the time it's fully fruited. But in this baby phase, it's so potent. It's just packed with all of these bioactive compounds that change the body on a cellular level. So what we do, and it's a more expensive and more tedious process, but it's the most beneficial process because again, you get access to all those compounds. So we extract it while it's in its mycelial phase, its infancy stage. And then we extract all those compounds. We don't, a lot of other manufacturers will like use it when it's fully fruited, just crush it up and give it to you.
Yeah.
And it's better than nothing. It's good to get it into your system, but it's better when you extract those components because it's so much more potent and concentrated, and a little bit goes a lot further.
Sure.
We do that whole process.
Wow. And then you just like go plant it in the ground. Like, are you ever worried? Like, what if there's a storm or something and you have a bad growth season?
Yeah, so it's different because we don't actually plant it in the ground. We use contaminant-free organic substrates. So
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the substrate is kind of like the ground. It's it's all natural, and we grow the mushrooms inside of that, and they're very sustainable. They double in size daily. So it's a very fast process. Mushrooms are incredible.
So like how long from planting to harvesting?
Oh, it's very fast. Yeah.
Like days, weeks?
Yeah. Like every week you can harvest a new batch of them. It's growing,
No way.
growing really, really quickly. Yeah. And so we control all of those circumstances. Like we control all those conditions. So we don't have to worry about like a farmer with crops that's dependent on a lot of outside things. We don't really have to deal with any of that because we control the conditions that it's growing in. But we still do it all outside. So it does get the natural sunlight. It does have access to the trees around it. It's hard to explain, but mushrooms are the communicators of nature. So for example, I'm getting so nerdy.
No, just keep going. This is great.
I call it kind of like network, right? It's like your internet. Mm-hmm. Mushrooms are the internet of nature. So they cover the whole earth, right?
Yeah.
And how trees and plants communicate with other trees and plants. So they'll have a tree over here that says, I need more carbon. It'll send an impulse through this mycelial network that will go out in a ripple. And it'll eventually hit another tree that has extra carbon. And that tree will say, I have carbon, here it is. And it will send the carbon through this mycelial network to the other tree that originally needed it.
No way.
It's called mycorrhizal relationships. So
and it's done through the mushrooms?
Done through the mushrooms. So it's like emails, right? Like
yeah.
Send out an email, hey, I need this. And then another tree goes, hey, I got your email, here it is. And they send it back.
Wow.
And so it's carrying messages from nature. It carries consciousness. It's able to communicate and send signals. And again, it's all very intelligently designed.
Yeah.
We have all these amazing technologies in the world that are being used, light and sound, that are being used to help bodies recover and help animals and help people. But there's nothing like the biotechnologies that already exist. This biotechnology is just perfected. So when you take it in its purest form, this perfect biotechnology, and you feed it to the body, it's just boom, boom, boom. Things just start rebalancing so quickly. So that's why Zenta, within a couple of days, she's jumping on the couch again. We have so many stories like this. And I myself, I'm 44 years old. I feel like I'm 23. Like, I don't wear makeup. I don't dye my hair. Like, I'm 100% natural. But it's because I've been taking these mushrooms for, goodness, almost 10 years now. And my own body on a cellular level has just rebalanced. I used to have an autoimmune condition. My antithyroid globulin levels, which are supposed to be less than 1, were 522.
Jeez.
I was horribly underweight. I was having seizures. I was passing out. Like, it was really bad. I developed a gluten intolerance and a dairy intolerance, and they knew it was autoimmune. And I started on the testing process, and around the same time, I started taking this Coriolis versicolor mushroom extract. And within 5.5 months, I just felt completely normal. And I went to the endocrinologist. He drew my blood work, and he's like, this doesn't even look like it's from the same person. In just less than 6 months, my antithyroid globulin levels were back below 1. My autoimmune marker was gone. My vitamin D deficiency I've had my entire adult life, gone, just balanced. My vitamin B deficiency, balanced. So it's like your own immune system knows how to stabilize your body. It knows how to regulate things and put them into the proper balances and ratios. And since then, every test that I've had, every scan, live blood scans, all of those types of things come back remarkable, like perfect range. And I do nothing else but eat my mushroom breakfast every day. And your own body on a cellular level is able to kind of restore itself. It's really incredible.
That is. What did you guys do before this?
Well, it's funny. We did something completely unrelated. We had a company where we brokered essential services. So we just helped people get internet and cell phone service and TV service and energy and all those types of things. We just brokered essential services.
Wow.
And we learned about this, and it truly was a calling. Like, we felt it in our hearts. It's kind of like when you learn something that is very powerful and can change lives, and in some cases even save lives. You have like a moral obligation to share that, like you have a moral responsibility to let people know, hey, this exists. It's another option that's more effective. It's more affordable. And it's the most scientifically validated mechanisms that are out there. And here's the thing that's so disturbing about the whole story. The last 30 years that they've been dealing with this mushroom and knowing the benefits of it, is why doesn't everybody know about it? If there are hundreds of published studies, and all of these researchers are all finding the same things, these are the most scientifically validated mechanisms available, why doesn't the world know about it? Why aren't we all just having it daily as part of our routine? And that's because many of these researchers have been studying it to try to mimic it and synthesize it so they can create something that they can patent, because they will be trillionaires if you could learn how to patent what these mushrooms just naturally do for the body. But even after 30 years, they haven't figured it out. They don't know how to synthesize it. They can't figure out how to mimic what these natural bioactive compounds do. So it's like, yay, nature wins. We're excited about that.
That's such a good point. I mean, they would lose so much money too if everybody knew about this. But is getting the word out, is that the challenge? Like, what's been the biggest challenge for you guys since you got into this?
Yeah, it's been the reprogramming and the reconditioning, because we're just programmed, to go to the medicine cabinet. We're programmed that if you have high blood pressure, you have to take this. If you have high cholesterol, you have to take this. We have pantries full of medications and supplements, and we're going here and there, spending tons of monies on all these treatments and all of that, when really at the end of the day, the core response to all of this should be nutritional support, right? Like, we should be feeding our pets' bodies the nutritional support that they need. We should be feeding our own bodies the nutritional support that it needs. And once the systems have that type of support, they all just start rebalancing themselves. And processes that slow down as we get older because of trauma and stress and, the toxic environments that we live in. I mean, even with our pets, the foods they're eating is toxic. The chemicals we're cleaning with them in our yards, the water quality, air quality, all the chemicals that we, soaps and shampoos and toothpaste and these things that are just full of chemicals that we're putting into our bodies, it makes those processes break down and slow down as we get older. And we just accept it as, oh, it's just, I'm older, right? Oh, this is just what happens. Oh, you're at that age. We have all these little sayings, when at the end of the day, no, there are other options. There are other responses that we could have, and we can actually start reactivating these processes that have slowed down. We can actually start the production of these compounds like collagen and glutathione and enzymes and, hormonal imbalances, all these things that have changed as we've gotten older because they changed. You weren't like that when you were a teenager, and you're like this now.
Yeah.
So something in the body changed. It's the mitochondria. So when you start reactivating the mitochondrial biogenesis and it's making new healthy mitochondria, all the processes then go back to like when you were a teenager or in your early 20s. It's really, it's fascinating. And so we want people to know, all of this is happening and it exists and it's changing. We're changing things and we're kind of getting back our sovereignty and getting back control over our bodies and our pets' bodies by taking it away from the systems that have been hurting us for a long time.
Yeah.
All of these manufacturers, whether malicious or not, I'm not here to judge anybody's intent. However, this has been happening for decades, and knowingly they've continued these practices. And so we just kind of have to stop complying with that and move back toward what it was originally supposed to be, the natural order of things.
Yeah, all on board with that. That's like what we kind of preach here at Badlands. Kurt, I got to ask you the same question though. What for you has been the biggest challenge since like starting this business?
When we started, that's just the knowledge of mushrooms. And, now you can really see that there's a mushroom craze going on. People are really more open to it. When we brought up mushrooms, they thought it was all psychedelic. They were concerned, and so now that they've been opened up to it, it's really taken a new height of growth. And, being very fortunate to have the strain that we have that no one else has. It's just night and day when people utilize our mushroom or they try it, and they might say, hey, we've tried another brand of Coriolis, and they don't see the same result. They don't notice it. And when I say they don't notice it, things that people typically notice that they'll see within 30 days is a renewed energy, clarity. We hear all the time, we feel so much younger. We just feel like we're 10, 15 years younger. And we have people, athletes that will go back and say, I'm doing things that I wasn't doing, I'm doing things again that I was doing 5 and 10 years ago. It's just, it's those types of things that we hear that are just amazing. And we know we're on the right track with what we have.
If you had to guess, how many people do you think in the United States actually take these mushrooms? Like, I'm not trying to like gauge your customer base, but I kind of am. Like, I'm curious, like how many people know about the mushrooms?
There's got to be, well into hundreds of thousands that are taking it now. Again, there are other, there are over 200 strains out there of this particular mushroom, but not all of them have any efficacy to them. Some of them don't have efficacy. So, and some, a lot of times when it's sold at its fully fruited body, like Cristin had said, and it's not the efficacy isn't as strong at that level. Not that it can't be helpful, but it just isn't where it needs, where ours is in terms of what it does and why it does it so much quicker and more effective.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. But do you see like potential for growth? Like with Trump in office, I know there's been talk about some of like the mushroom stuff. I know when I interviewed Doug Collins, the VA guy, I asked him about the mushroom and psychedelic psilocybin or whatever, because I know that's big with PTSD. But in terms of like people becoming more accepted, when did that change occur? Like when did you notice people starting to get more open to the idea of mushrooms?
I would say within the last year and a half, 2 years, right in there.
Really?
really.
What do you credit to it?
Definitely the administration has been helpful with it, I think, but it's interesting when you see how it just started to evolve and you just started seeing things open up
everywhere. Yeah.
And we're out there a lot, bringing what we can and shedding light on this, but there's so many others that are as well, and just mushrooms in general and how incredible they are.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And going back to the PTSD and the using the mushrooms that are helping people with that, hopefully that is something that door is open to every single person on this planet, because it's so helpful. And we do get a lot of reports just from our mushroom in the same way. We have a gentleman that 79 years old. He's walked every continent on the planet. He's kind of known as a walking man, and he had heard about this product, and through actually a podcast, he got on it. He tried it. He called the company. They connected him with us, and he said, "I have to tell you what's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even believe what I'm seeing." He goes, "First of all, I'm 79, and he goes, I'm walking again like in my early 60s. Mm-hmm. My energy." Wow. Just the clarity in my mind. I can't even believe it. And he said, this is after a month of being on it. And he said, I had tendonitis in my ankle. He said, nothing's been able to resolve it. He said, that's completely gone. That went away. And I've got to assume it's from this mushroom. And he goes, I've got some other health conditions going on. He goes, I'll keep you updated, if I see it does anything with him. And he called about a month and a half, 2 months later. And he goes, you're not going to believe this. He goes, all my doctors want to speak to you. He goes, first of all, he goes, you wouldn't think that, all the walking I do, that I could be a type 2 diabetic, but I am. And he said, I deal with neuropathy as a result of it. He goes, my numbers are the best they've been in years, first of all. And he goes, my neuropathy, he goes, I don't even notice it anymore. He goes, I can't even believe it. And he said also, he goes, I have PTSD from fighting in Vietnam. And he goes, I'd have to wear a t-shirt to bed. I'd have to sleep on a towel. And he goes, I wake up every night soaking wet. And he goes, that problem has not been existent for over a month as well.
No way.
Yeah. And he said, also, he goes, I'd have to get up a lot at night to use the restroom 4 to 5 times every night. He goes, you don't know what it's like not to sleep. He goes, it's incredible. And he goes, that's been reduced down to 1 to 2 times a night. He goes, it's just been amazing what I've experienced from this and the differences that I'm seeing. And he goes, I know it has to be the mushroom because I haven't changed anything I've been doing. So wow. a lot of great things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe close it up with this. What is each of your favorite story, like success story, from people who've taken your product, the mushroom?
Oh, goodness. Oh, that's hard. There are so many.
Gotta be a favorite.
They're just, Zenta is my favorite story. I kind of like the one that Kurt shared at the beginning.
First one.
Yeah, she's my favorite because it was not only about the quick results, her jumping on the couch in 4.5 days. It was the quality of life for another 4.5 years that really inspires me and shows me like, hey, even though it looks like it might be the end of the road for someone or for their pet, that's not always the case, right? There's still hope. And so that's always been a very inspiring story for me. And we've had several more like that. I mean, we've had almost a lot of the pets that we work with are living to be 19, 20, 21 years old. And so, we have some that Scout's another good one. So he was, he was just about 11 when we first met him, and he could barely walk, and he's just a little white puffball. And he was having a lot of trouble just getting around. They take him out for walks, but it was funny because they just carry him the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not a walk. Like
purpose, yeah.
You're just carrying him the whole time. And they started giving him the mushroom extract in this little gravy that we have. And it has other like vitamins and minerals in it and stuff. And again, within just a couple of days, he started walking on his own, and he's still with us today. He's 20 years old.
No way.
Yeah, he's 20. And they thought, back then they were like, well, we just want to keep him comfortable. We think we only have like maybe a year, maybe 2 more with him. We want to keep him comfortable. And we go see him regularly, and he jumps up on us and comes to us at 20 years old. He's not only walking, but he's still like jumping on the furniture and doing all of that. And so these pets really inspire me, because I'm like, look, if they can push through it, then anybody can. We can help anybody push through it.
That's amazing. Kurt, do you have a story? Or
I do. I have a quick. I'll make it quick. And this is an individual that both Josh and Alpha know. You may know him as well, John. But yeah. It's a crazy story because I had a lady here in Las Vegas, and he said, "Hey, I've got a friend that he's dealing with a pretty major issue that affects his neck and his back of his tongue, and he's coming out here to talk to a non-traditional doctor about maybe going that direction." He was diagnosed at Rockefeller in Houston with his issue, and he comes out, and I said, "Yeah, I'll be happy to meet with him for lunch." And we go to sit down, and he goes, "I got 2 questions." He goes, "First of all, I think I know you, but the second one is," he goes, "I'll give you 30 minutes." He goes, "I'm a podcaster. I've been told all these things that I should be doing. And I'm just overwhelmed, to be honest with you. And I've got a lot going on." I said, "No problem." And I explained kind of what we talked about a little today and the different things regarding it. And I said, you ought to just take this while you're deciding what you're going to do and see if it helps you out in any way. And I said, again, it doesn't cure, mitigate, or prevent, but if we can get your immune system working right, it's capable of doing all types of things. And he goes, "Yeah, that sounds good." He decided to take it. Now, you could hardly understand him when we met with him because it was so bad. Mm-hmm. He goes back. He meets with this non-traditional doctor. He goes back home to Houston. And 3 weeks later, he's FaceTiming me. And I answer it, and he's at the gym. Now, this guy's been in the gym since he was a teenager, and he goes, "Listen to me." He goes, I'm cleared up. You can hear me. And I said, "Yeah, it's amazing." And he goes, "But here's my workout buddies." There was 4 of them. And he goes, "They all want to order this mushroom." And wow. he goes, "Kurt, I'm 52. I'm in the gym. I'm curling 45-pound dumbbells, and I've never done that in my life. And I have
wow.
And I have, an issue going on with me right now. A major issue." And he goes, "I decided I'm going to do non-traditional medicine. I'm flying out to Vegas next week." He comes out, and he goes and sees her. He calls us back, and the next day he goes, "I hope you're sitting down, but from when I was here last time, just in over right around a month's time," he goes, "on average, my issue has resolved by 38%. Wow. Unbelievable. He goes, she couldn't even believe it. She said, "I think you should just keep doing what you're doing for 1 more month, and let's just see what happens and then take it from there." And he did. And he flew back out. 58 days later, he finds out that issue is no longer there.
That is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And the crazy part about that, why this, not only having that happen to him, but, we're talking, it's late at night, 11:30, we're driving back from where he met this doctor. And this was an hour and a half from Vegas where he went to with her. And he goes, "Remember when I said I had a second question for you? I never asked you that." I said, "What is it?" He goes, I think I know you. I've known you before this." And we found out, I was a VP of the company that I was with. He was a part of that company. And I remember we saw one another, but how we were connected through somebody that wasn't connected with that situation at all. I just knew here in Vegas. It's just amazing how it all came together and how that has been so helpful for that individual.
That is amazing. So for people who want to try the product, it's badlands.petclub247.com. Which one do you recommend start? Because I'm looking at this and I see a lot of stuff here and I wouldn't even know where to begin. Humans probably, or dogs, I guess, if you got them. But what's the most common thing that people get?
And I think it's badlandsmedia.petclub247.com. But the main thing is the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. That's the one that every pet, every person, every day should be taking. That's that green bottle that you see up on the top left. That's the core. Yes, that's the core mushroom. Everyone should be taking this every single day because that's what supports your immune system. And once your immune system's supported, it can repair and rebalance and regulate everything that's happening in the body. Now, when you go onto the pets pages, you'll see the mush ponies, the mush puppies, our special sauce, which is a gravy. All of those have that same pharmaceutical grade extract in it, the Coriolis versicolor mushroom in it. So this is the mushroom everyone should be taking. But we do also have a couple complementary mushrooms because people have very specific issues that they're dealing with, and they sometimes want to take a more targeted approach. So that yellow bottle that you see, the Enforce Plus, that has the Coriolis versicolor mushroom in it and a little bit of reishi in it, which is an alkalinizing mushroom, really good for adrenal support. So your body's able to rebalance its own blood pressure, its own cholesterol levels, its own blood sugar levels when the adrenals are being supported, because a lot of that stems from a breakdown of the adrenal processes. So that's the yellow bottle. The red bottle that you see there, that's the Enforce Restore. This is the maitake mushroom. And this is really helpful for liver and pancreas support. So especially because we have such a toxic overload, our livers are working really, really hard to try to detox our bodies all the time. So that one will help you get that extra support. And then the Enforce Clarity is the blue bottle that you see. This is lion's mane mushroom. And please look up, if you're doing independent research, which everybody always should be doing your own independent research on everything. The lion's mane mushroom, look up the studies on how it's impacting cognitive issues. It's really helpful for nerve and brain support. So they're finding really promising studies on dementia, Alzheimer's, neuropathy, Parkinson's, PTSD, anxiety, even maintaining a healthy weight. That's all done. There's a bunch of studies on the lion's mane mushroom. And then orange bottles, the shiitake mushroom. This is called Enforce Shield. And this is great for cardiovascular support. It helps promote the natural viral response in your body. It's a good source of natural vitamin D. But if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see we have our longevity pack down there. And this is the reason we created that is that's my daily routine. I take each of those mushrooms every day, as well as 1 teaspoon of this Beauty and Longevity Gel, which has reishi, maitake, and shiitake mushroom in it. But it also has interleaf aloe vera. It has proprietary structured water and some other minerals that help your body to absorb more of the mushroom compounds. So it almost acts as a carrier and helps to kind of accelerate your progress and amplify the results. So I always recommend, if you want just to reactivate that mitochondrial biogenesis in your body and start feeling it on a cellular level, I recommend the longevity pack because there's a little bit of a discount, and then that's everything that you need all in one place.
Wow. That is awesome. And yeah, I'm going to try this too. I haven't tried this product yet, and I'm definitely going to try this out. I think I'm going to have my girlfriend do it as well. Yeah. But thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time, and it was good getting to know you. You know, in September, we're going to be down in Vegas for one of our conferences. You guys should come.
Yeah, that would be great. We'd love to.
Absolutely.
We'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah. Let me double check the date on that before I even let you go. I think it's September 17th through the 20th.
Oh, great.
Yeah. We'll be down there at the Ahern in Vegas there. So
that's where we do all our events at Ahern. It's a great place.
Yeah, we love that venue. It'll be the second time we've been there. It's awesome. But thank you guys so much for taking the time, and thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up and tune in next week for another episode of America First Stories. You guys have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too.